This is crazy because I have never gone live on Substack before, and I thought, let's try it. Let's try it. I shared an article yesterday that I wrote about it not being too late for us in midlife. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today, because I think that resonated with some of you. And I know that it resonates with a lot of midlife women because I am I'm a midlife woman. For those of you who have never met me, I'm Rachel. I am a 51-year-old woman who has pivoted several times in midlife. And I believe wholeheartedly that this is going to sound really cheesy, y'all, but it's good. I think it's a portal into magical things. Oh my gosh, that really does sound so cheesy. But here's the reason I think this. And this is why I started the Not Done Yet movement. I also have a podcast called Not Done Yet, which I'm thinking of moving over here to Substack, but that's neither here nor there. But there is something that happens, I think, when we reach midlife, because for decades, we have really shown up for everybody else, right? If we've raised kids, that's been our role for 20 years. If we're married, that's been our role. If we are caretaking our families, if we are working, have a job, climbing the ladder, we're bosses, whatever. There are so many other roles that we have really been in for decades. And now it's our turn. And I think so many midlife women don't understand that. It's almost like we've been putting forth so much effort for everybody else, being everything for everyone else, that when it's time for us to be everything to ourselves, we don't know how to do that. And sometimes I am a great example of this. We worry that we're too late. When I turned 50, that was really hard for me. Maybe it was like 49, because I started having this worry that I've been in online business for 13 plus years, almost, I think maybe 14 years. I have been around the block, y'all. Okay. I started out in network marketing. That wasn't my online business era. Then I built a partnership with my friend, and it became a 7-figure partnership. We taught network marketers how to party on Facebook. If you ever were a network marketer and you followed the tag team, I'm Rachel from the tag team. And then I decided after about 7 years, I wanted to go solo. I wanted to go, I felt really called to serve women who weren't necessarily in network marketing. And so that's what happened. And I then fell back into teaching women who were in network marketing because I think it's what I knew and it felt safe. Fast forward several years, I now am finally doing what I feel called to do, and that is to serve midlife women, help midlife women stop dismissing themselves and step into what's next, what their life's purpose is. That sounds so big, but it's true. Like, we dismiss ourselves all the time. And I think that's part of what that phrase is that we tell ourselves, like, it's too late. It's too late. It's too late. That's not true. It's not too late. It's not too late. And today I want to just touch on that a little bit. Let me pull up my notes, because I will just talk about I will just talk and talk and talk if I don't have notes in front of me, and you don't need to be here for that. So I think one of the big things when I turned 50 or 49-ish, I remember thinking, when am I going to become irrelevant? Like, how much time do I have left? How much time do I have left? Am I on my way to becoming irrelevant? Because, there are all these like young kids out there today, right? These influencers, all the things. And I was like, have I lost, like, am I out of time? And it was then that I realized, no, girl, no, this is when you are stepping into your full on purpose. Because my kids, I have 3 kids. They're all teenagers. One is a rising sophomore in college. One's a rising senior in high school. And then I have a 15-year-old, and they don't need me the way they needed me before. And y'all, all I ever wanted to do was be a mom. All I ever wanted to do was be a mom. And I became a mom after 8 years of marriage. And I was everything. It was everything. But it turns out that I am also not good at being like a stay-at-home mom. I thought I was gonna be like a Pinterest mom, right? Turns out that is not what I'm good at. But truly, my children are my life, okay? But I lost myself in being a mom. And now that I'm in midlife, I'm realizing, okay, wait, no, we're not done yet. There's even more for me to do. And it's the same for you. There's so much more for us. And I hear from midlife women all the time, like this self-dismissal, the self-dismissal that we do to ourselves, right? We'll think of something like, I want to write a book, or I want to, or what if I could start my own business, or what if I change jobs, or all these what if things, like, right? We think these things. And then almost immediately we think, no, I could never do that, or I'm too old, or it's too late, or I don't even know how I would do that. Right. And we dismiss ourselves. In fact, a friend called me out on it the other day, actually, this week. Y'all, this is what I do. I'm saying this because this is crazy. I help midlife women identify where they're dismissing themselves so that they can take, the next step into what they want, what they truly want. Because here's the thing, you know what you want. You know what you want, right? It's not a matter of like, I don't know. I'm trying to move my notes so that I can see your faces. Just kidding. I know I can't see your faces. But you know what you want, but you just may be pushing it off. Now, if you're here on Substack, chances are you're stepping into that, right? You're like, no, I know what I want, and I'm done dismissing myself. But here's the thing, and this is what I caught myself doing this week. The way that I am designed is that I am an action taker. I will take action. If I am clear around what I want to do, I'll take fast action. But the moment it doesn't work, or work, like, as whatever that means in my mind, I then decide, okay, that's it, right? And that's not that's not what I'm supposed to do. That's not what's supposed to happen. So I was talking to a friend, and I had just put out some feelers for a program that I've created called The Knowing, and it's for midlife women. It's a small container for midlife women. It's an 8-week experience where we really identify where you're dismissing yourself, and then we move forward into what you do next. Like, how do we move beyond that? How do you take action? I'm so excited about it. But I really just gently put it out there. And I got a couple of, people who were interested and then couldn't for whatever reason, whether it was like timing, money, whatever. And I was telling my friend about it, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I should just not do it. And she was like, Rachel, you're literally doing what you are teaching people not to do. And I didn't even realize it. We do this to ourselves. We dismiss ourselves without even realizing it. We shut ourselves down. It's like we've entered this pattern, or not even entered it. We've been in this pattern for so long, putting our needs last. We've been everything, like I said before, everything to everybody else. And we put our needs last. So now, when it comes to looking at what we want, it's almost automatic that we dismiss it. And we've got to stop that, because we are not done yet. There's so much more for us out there. So I want you to think about it for a second. What is the thing that you just dream about? Or if you don't dream about it, what is something that if you allowed yourself to dream, what would you love to do? See, research shows that women hit a creative and emotional peak in midlife, not in their 20s, not in their 30s, in midlife, right? Right now. So what are you going to do with that? Because here's the thing. If we keep telling ourselves it's too late, or whatever self-dismissal phrase we use, we don't try, right? And we forget to calculate the cost of not trying. Like, what's the risk of arriving at 70 or 75 and realizing that we never tried? right? What would that look like? Well, in my opinion, I don't want that. I don't want to roll into 85 and be like, "Well, I had some ideas, but I just didn't I thought I was too late." Like, "What, girl? You're 51. You have nothing but so much to give. And sister, this is your time, right? But are you willing to take that risk? Are you willing to take the risk of trying and maybe failing? Or are you preferring to take the risk of rolling into 70, 75, 80, and not having tried? I'm not that for me personally, I'm I would rather try and fail. And then let me tell you, I'm the walking billboard for that. And I'm still here and I'm still showing up, right? I'm still doing it. So I think the real question isn't, is it too late? I think the question is more, what is the cost of waiting one more year? And what could happen if you started now? Not perfectly, just now. And I think we do get in our heads about doing it messy, right? Like we need to make sure everything's in line, everything's just right. And the thing is that really doesn't make a difference. What makes the most difference is just doing it. It's just trying it. Get it out there. Do the thing. Do it messy, y'all. Because you are not done becoming the version of yourself who's been waiting quietly for you to give her a chance. You're not, right? You're not done becoming who you are meant to be. And I really just want to encourage you in that because this is what I feel so strongly about as far as women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Society teaches us we have grown thinking, okay, well, once my kids are done and I have an empty nest, like, all right, I guess like what do I wait for grandkids? Like, is that it? Is that what we're doing? I think it's almost like we're thinking, okay, retirement's on the horizon, all these things. And I don't connect with that. I think that's just not true. And people, I remember thinking 50 was so old, right? So old. But it's not. It truly is the beginning of something amazing. It's the beginning. It is the beginning of us. It's the beginning of us stepping into our true purpose. And like I said before, my whole life when I was a kid, like in my 20s, all I wanted was to become a mom. That's all I wanted. I was a teacher for 9 years, but all I really wanted was to be a mom. And then I finally became a mom, and I loved being my 30s were the when I became a mom, and I was exhausted. So exhausted, so happy, but so exhausted, right? And then my kids all have learning challenges. So my oldest has excuse me, my oldest has ADHD, and profound ADHD. So his ADHD is very different from what you imagine ADHD to be. He's very quirky. Okay. Um, and then I have my girls who both have profound dyslexia. So I was constantly advocating for my kids, making sure that they had the IEPs and the 504s and the accommodations they needed and all the things. I was taking them to and from, extra therapies and all the things. That was like what my late 30s, early 40s were all about. And at 45, I was like, you know what? I'm not happy in my partnership. Was in a 7-figure partnership. Like it all grew very organically and it was amazing and a total gift to be a part of. But I realized at 45 that I wasn't happy because money is not everything. And I realized like in order for me to be everything I can be to my children and to my husband and to just myself, I needed to leave the partnership. And that was a really, really hard decision for me. It wasn't really until I was in my later 40s where I realized, you know what? We are not done yet. And there are so many midlife women who are pretty much like, okay, well, this is it, I guess. Like, is this it? Okay. Like I'm wrapping up and we feel so poorly about ourselves. We feel so badly about ourselves because we think, you know what? Like, I guess What else do I have to offer? I'm too late. I'm too old. But that's not true. So if you don't take anything from this, just take this one thing today. You are not too late. And you do not need to dismiss yourself, apologize for yourself. None of that. None of that. Okay. You are meant for more, and this is your time. So before we wrap up, I just want to tell you about something that I've just done. Okay. So if this conversation is landing for you, if you've been quietly thinking, like, yeah, okay, I feel you, sister. I get you, Rachel. Yes, I feel you. I want to point you toward the Not Done Yet Collective. I just opened the paid tier this week, and I wanted to create a community for midlife women who are done dismissing themselves and ready to actually connect with other women in the same season, so that we can empower one another and connect with one another and step into what's next for us in real time. And I was like, where do I do that? Do I do that on Facebook? I hate Facebook. Like, I hate Facebook. I'm terrible at showing up in groups on Facebook. And I thought, okay, I'm doing it on Substack, because there's a free tier, but then there's also a paid tier. And in the paid tier, that's where we're going to have chats, like voice memos, voice chats, like we're going to connect, we're going to do workshops or have live gatherings, conversations. I don't know what to call it. But this is where you are going to connect with other women who are just like you. Not Done Yet Collective paid tier is a room of women who get it, who are also figuring out what's next, who are also tired of the too late story. So if you're interested, the link should be in the chat or in the comments. I don't know. I've never done Substack before. It'll be around here somewhere. And we will make sure that it's there. I would love to have you in there. It just opened. So if you decide I'm going to join as a founding member, you can join for just $222 for the year, and you are locked in at that. So lots of big things to come in the paid tier. I appreciate you watching this and being a part of this today. I'm going to do more of this. This was scary for me, because while I love to go live and while this is very natural for me to talk to people, online, I'd never done it on Substack, and I didn't know if anyone would watch or if anyone would be here or even how it works over here. So thank you for being a part of this. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to be back for more. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Until then, my beautiful friends, I'll see you soon.